everybody, you know who it is. It's me again, the Sheltered Hell. What's up? So, I kind of had to go into something. So, I saw this article today that I'm reading, and it's about the NCAA and their convening to increase scholarships. They're going to add cost of attendance and some other stuff onto the scholarships. Now, here's my thing, and I am on record, and I'm going to be the first person to say this. I went to college. I know how much it costs. I am all for an athlete getting full cost of attendance. I feel like the NCAA should allow players to have a stipend in which they are able to pay full cost of attendance, and I'm talking about other stuff besides room, tuition, and board, because obviously that's covered, but I'm talking about food costs, travel, things like that, stuff that other college kids who are able to supplement themselves because they're able to get part-time jobs that NCAA athletes are not able to do. Whether that be a $5,000 stipend, whatever it may be, I just feel like whatever the average student that is able to get themselves compensated is able to do, that's what the NCAA should be able to do for athletes who are unable to get themselves even a part-time job. Now, with that being said, I don't feel that any college athlete should be paid. And I'm dead serious when I say that. And I know everybody's going to think that I'm an asshole when I say this, but let me put it this way. These guys are in college, and they are on a full ride scholarship, and these scholarships are not cheap. The amount of money that goes into these scholarships are not cheap. Think about, and if you want to look into it, go down to the University of Alabama or go to the University of Miami or Florida State or Georgia or any one of these top programs or whatever, and see how much it costs per year to attend these universities. And these guys get to go there for free. Now, they're there based off of their athletic talent and their merits, and based off of the university's feelings of their potential of what they can earn to the university. Now, I've heard it all. Everybody's going to sit there and say, oh, well, the NCAA is making millions of dollars off of these kids' backs. Well, I'm not necessarily a fan of this individual, but let me go ahead and quote our president, Barack Obama. You didn't build that. The University of Alabama, now let me put a perfect example out there. Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is a hell of an athlete. He is a stud. He is a freak. He's everything like that. But is Amari Cooper the reason that Bryant-Denny Stadium is sold out every week? Is Amari Cooper the reason why Alabama is making all the millions of dollars that they have? No. Ezekiel Elliott up at Ohio State, is he the reason why freaking the Horseshoe is sold out every weekend? No. For us, Jameis Winston, is he the reason that Doak Campbell Stadium is sold out? No. It's because of the name. It's because of the program. It's because of the tradition. That university Florida State University has been here long before Jameis Winston. The University of Alabama has been there longer than Amari Cooper. And Ohio State's been there longer than Ezekiel Elliott. And it's going to be there long after these guys are gone. Now, here's the main thing that pisses me off about this. Everybody's like, well, the university sells their likeness. Duh, that's part of the deal. Here's the thing. Are college athletes exploited a little bit? Yes, but you got to think about it. These guys are exploited based off of their jersey numbers. They're able to, the university, yes, they do make money off of selling these kids' jerseys. But think about it this way. It was the university who was the one who gave you a likeness in the first place for you to have a popular jersey. Because, let me put it this way. Jadeveon Clowney, he went to the University of South Carolina. If Jadeveon Clowney is over playing at freaking UTEP or anything like that, Is anybody give a fuck about who Jadeveon Clowney is? We probably won't hear about Jadeveon Clowney until at the end of the season when we see his name on a freaking college football award, and then we see him in the NFL Combine. Nobody got to know who the fuck on a national scale. Besides, like, people who are, like, adamant college football fans, nobody really knew who the fuck Jadeveon Clowney was until he had that hit on that kid from Michigan in the freaking Outback Bowl. Nobody knew who the fuck he was. So don't give me this bullshit about, oh, well, this kid is making so much money for this university and everything like that. They didn't build these universities. These universities are making money based off of the university's name, their brand, and their likeness. And the university is going to be there long after these kids are gone. Long after these kids are gone. And it was there long before they were ever there. Like, people are going to say, oh, well, Texas A&M with Johnny Manziel. Bullshit. Kyle Fields been getting sold out long before Johnny Manziel ever was there. Now, did he make Texas A&M a more household name for people to think about, you know, as far as the modern children? Absolutely, yes, I'll give you that. But anybody who is an avid college football fan knew about the Texas A&M University long before Johnny Manziel was there. Because don't forget, they also had a first-round quarterback in Ryan Tannehill that went there. Von Miller went there. I mean, so it is what it is. I mean, and then most of these kids, think about this. Most of these kids are never going to see the NFL. So maybe 2% of these guys are going to get drafted in the NFL, and then maybe 1% of those guys are going to actually make an NFL roster. And then after that, maybe like 1% of that is going to stay in the league for more than 2 to 3 years. So think about this. If the NFL is only willing to pay 2% of NCAA athletes for what they are able to contribute to the football field, then why the hell should the NCAA have to pay all these athletes for, you know, what they contribute to the football field when they're already giving them a scholarship? And not to mention, nobody's actually talking about how much it costs to run these programs. Does the University of Alabama make a lot of money? Hell yeah, they make a lot of money. But do you know how much money the University of Alabama spends? All those recruiting trips, like those top recruits that are flying in from California, Oregon, and stuff like that. You know who's paying that shit? The University of Alabama. You think these flights are cheap? The fucking equipment, like the stadium renovations. Bryant-Denny, since Nick Saban's been there, has been renovated, I think, once or twice. You think those were cheap? You think those stadium renovations cost $500 or something like that? No, these were in the millions of dollars that they had to pay for this stuff. You see all those nice, fine facilities and all that other shit that whenever a recruit goes into and looks at, you think that was cheap? And those facilities and everything like that were the reason that those guys chose to come there in the first place. I mean, perfect example. The University of Alabama, Birmingham. They had to shut down their football operations because they just could not keep up. Now, I mean, it's sad and it's tragic because the thing is, if the NCAA were to ever go the route of where they start to pay players, it would make the NCAA, it would dilute the fuck out of the NCAA and it would change the game. Now, obviously, I'm not so naive to notice that the NCAA is corrupt and that the game that we all know and love, it's not nearly as pure as what we want it to be. I know that. It's never going to be, because you got all these institutions and the NCAA just does not have the manpower necessary for them to monitor and, police everybody else's program. So they want everybody to be able to police their own program. And people are going to try to get away with shit. I mean, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, because you can't tell me every program, whether you're a freaking Florida State, whether you're a Florida, an Alabama, a Georgia, a Tennessee, anything like that, none of us are running 100% clean programs according to every letter of the law that the NCAA puts out there. But the thing is, you don't want your program to end up being like a freaking SMU, because think about it, what SMU was doing back in the 80s, that was chump change. Imagine with the kind of money that the NCAA is making now, how much that would dilute the market. So you would never see teams like a Boise State or anything like that ever being able to compete with those guys, because you know what? If a recruit's getting paid $50,000 or so just to go there, Boise State and all those other teams would never see the field. Now, granted, it already is like that, because the top recruits, they're going to go to the Alabamas, they're going to go to the Florida States, they're going to go to the Oregons, they're going to go to the LSUs, the Auburns, things like that. They're going to go those places. But you start paying players, the game is going to get diluted and it's going to be completely different. That's just my 2 cents on it. I don't feel like college athletes should get paid. I'm completely on board with full cost of attendance and everything like that, and I'm fully on board with the stipends being raised for a normal college athlete who is unable to get a job, for them to stay on par with somebody else that is able to make money. But as far as paying athletes, I am not on with that, because you open up a whole new door once you do that. And you think the game is corrupt now, start putting money in there and start seeing how many hits get put on players and stuff like that. Anyway, it's your boy Shelterdale. Go Noles.